Hey, good afternoon guys, it's Steve Cat5J. I hope everyone's doing okay out there today. So today I decided I'm going to undertake a project here. I'm going to upgrade my firmware, or I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. Either two things will have success, or I'll have a bricked radio. So either way, this video may be how to not upgrade your firmware, but it looks like it's a pretty straightforward process. Basically what I've got, my radio was purchased around 2021. This is the latest firmware in July of 2024. So there's three phases, or four if you will. This one and this one I don't even see on their website. This one is on the website for the DSP, and of course the main. But all I'm going to do is update the main, because mine's at 2.04 and the latest one is at 2.07. So basically what you do is you just go to the website here. You click on the Files tab, and you're going to look for this guy right here. It's called FT991A firmware. Basically what happens is, what I do first is, just to back up, I have a folder called Ham Radio Research FT991A, and what I did was I made a project folder and I labeled that project folder firmware version 02-07. So that's my project folder, because what you're going to end up doing here is you're going to end up unzipping some files, and you're going to unpack those files into a folder that has usable stuff in it. So I'm going to kind of just take you through that. So basically what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and do this live. What's going to end up happening is we're going to download this zip folder here, which is going to be right there. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to unpack that zip folder that you see right there. When we unpack it, it's going to create an additional folder in my project folder, and it's going to have the actual file, the instructions, and the software that you need to load the file. You do also need the virtual driver, the COM driver. So if you're not familiar with that, the driver is basically if you go to your ports, right here where you see ports, I have this Silicon Labs USB DUART driver. So essentially everyone who uses the 991A, for the most part you have this. I do have a video that shows you how to load this. I'll go back and try to locate it. But you're going to have two ports, enhanced port and standard port. We're going to be using the enhanced port for the actual upgrade. So let me show you how we get the files here. We're going to go to the... Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I had a little problem there. So what we're going to do is, I've got the link over here in this document. I'll put that in the... where that's going to take you to is this guy right here. We're going to want to go to Files. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down and locate the one main firmware, they call it. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to where it says what we're looking for is the main. There's that driver if you need to install it, the SCU17. That's the virtual serial port driver, they call it. But this is what we need, not the DSP, but what we need is the FT991A firmware, including the new update. So we're going to click on this, and it's going to open up a little box here. I'm going to stick it in my project folder, and this is a zip file at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save, and that's going to stick it in the folder. So let me go to that project folder, which is right here. Now what I'm going to do is, there's my project folder that I started earlier right here. Now I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hit Extract All, and I'm going to extract it all into the same folder. So what it just did is, now in my project folder I have the zip file, which is untouched other than I just unpacked it. And when I unpack it, look what I get here. I get another folder that has the firmware, the instructions, and I've got all these printed out, so we're going to go through this. In this instruction guide, it takes you through how to do the main firmware. It shows you how to actually look at the firmware. If you want to verify your firmware on your radio, to do that, you basically, let's see here, where is it? Press the power key, and while pressing the AB and the A/B on the transceiver, you'll see this screen show up for about 5 minutes, or excuse me, 5 to 10 seconds, and then it'll clear. And then of course this is the one we're going to do right here, how to update the main firmware, and this is starting on page 3. And what we'll do is I'll take you through this step by step with what we need to do. And we have this executable file, which is the updater, and we also have the SFL file, which is the firmware. So let's take a look at that real quick. Again, there's the SFL file and there's the updater. So now what it tells us to do, let's go over the radio and I'll show you a couple of things there, and we'll kind of go back and forth a little bit. Okay, now I have power on the radio, and what I'm going to do is to look at the firmware, I'm going to simply hold the A-B and the A and B, and I'm going to press these two buttons and I'm going to turn on the power. There's the firmware version right there. So everything is current except for the main. So the main is what we're going to actually update. Now this will clear. Okay, we're good to go there. And we'll go ahead and turn it off. So now what we're going to do next is we're going to put the radio into a program mode. And the way we do that is we have to turn off the external power supply. And then what we'll do is we'll press the transmit and the split keys and turn on the power supply. Now the radio is not actually going to turn on. They say it goes into what's called a programming mode. So the buttons I'm going to push are the TXW, which is right here, and I'm going to press the split. So it's going to be these two guys right here, and while pressing those, turn on the external power. This will put the radio into the programming mode. Then what we're going to do is we're going to switch back over to the computer, and we're going to launch that YSF executable file, and then we're going to try to download the software. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the radio power here. I got to get all this where I can do this. So what I've got to do here is it says to press the transmit and the split, which are right here, and turn on the power. This will put the radio into programming mode. So let's give that a try. I'm going to press this, and I'm going to turn on the power. Alright, nothing happened on the radio, and that's what they say, nothing's going to happen. So let's swap back over to the computer screen. Okay, now we're back over on the computer screen, and now what it says is, let me get the instructions here. So right now the radio, and they say it will not be visible, so what we're going to do is, while pressing the transmit and split, execute the YFS W02 executable. So I'm going to do that right here. Okay, there it is right there. Now, click the configure button. Let me go through this step by step. Click the configure button and set the COM port. We're on COM port 3, which is correct. Use the Ethernet COM port when using OK. Click the browse. And now we're going to navigate to our project folder, which is right there. We're going to click OK. Select the firmware, which is already selected right there, 2.017 to be transferred. This is an SFL file. Okay. Click the right button on the transfer software screen. The firmware process will begin. So let's click this here. Now writing. Alright, this is looking good. This is updating the main firmware on the 991A, and if everything goes right, we'll have a working radio, and if it doesn't, we may have a brick. So so far so good. Now please wait until the process has been completed. When the OK question mark is displayed on the screen, the update has been completed. Click the OK button. Turn off the external power supply. So that's what we're going to do next. I looked at a lot of videos, and it was a lot of back and forth whether it's worth the risk, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to try it. This video may show you how to brick a radio, or it may show you how to upgrade the radio. I'm not sure what all fixes are there. There's a couple of weird things I've noticed on the split and width, some of the settings there on the HF stuff. I'm hoping this will fix it. So far so good. We're looking good here. Now we just go through. Now when the OK is displayed on the screen, the update has been completed. I'm on page 4 of the Yaesu manual. Okay, alright, that looks good. Now it says when the OK is displayed on the screen, the update, click the OK button. Turn off the external power supply. I'm going to do that right over here. So let me jump over here and show you how I do that. Okay, I am going to turn off the external power supply to the radio. Disconnect the USB cable. Now I've got my USB cable right here. I don't think it matters, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's the USB cable to the radio. Okay, and we're going to go back over here now. Disconnect the, turn on the external power supply. Okay, press and hold the power key while pressing the FM list key on the transceiver's main panel, turning on the transceiver's power reset procedure. So it says press and hold the power key while pressing the FM list key. So I'm going to press the FM list key. Press and hold the power key while pressing the FM list key. FM list power. Okay. Now. Turn on the transceiver's main power. Now confirm that unit powered on and press and hold the power to turn it off. This completes the firmware upgrade process. Now let's do this. Let's turn it back on. And boy, that looks like a brand new radio out of the box. The Zulu time is correct, but boy, all my settings and everything here, let's see if anything, I think what happened here is, light gain, okay, let's see, what do we got here? I don't think anything's programmed on here. Let me see if my memory 1, yeah, you know what guys, this actually erased my entire radio. There is nothing, but let's check the firmware. Let's check the firmware. So let's do that real quick. So what we'll do here, turn this off, press and hold the AB. Okay, the firmware has updated to 2.07. So when it says reset the radio, it literally resets the radio. So let's do this. Let's change gears. I'm going to go back and I'm going to reconnect my USB cable. It's literally erased everything. I don't have any programming in here at all. So let's go back to my RT software and see if I can find my, let's see if any of my settings are there. Menu reset, any of my processor gain settings. Looks like everything, it looks, all of this is back to default. Parametric, everything's back to default. So it resets your entire radio. So that's a good thing to know. The firmware is updated, but everything's gone. So let me switch back over. We're going to try to use RT System, see if we can restore it. Alright guys, now I do have RT Systems, so what I do is I'm going to pull up my last backup that I had on the 991A. So it wiped out everything. So let me see, where do I have my software? FT991A programmer. There it is right there. So what I'm going to do now is let me open a file. I'm going to open up my latest file. Looks like the last one I had was right there, 2024. So I'm going to click that file Now I'm going to go here to radio menu settings, and what I want to do here is I want to import let's see here. Let's see, I want to do communicate. I want to send data to the radio. Now, see where it says menus? I want to do memory channels and menus and everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click OK. And basically what I'm doing is I'm restoring all of my programming. And let me jump over the radio. Radio is going to do some weird things over here. See all this light changing, that's part of the upgrade process. So when the upgrade process is done, so a lesson learned here is back up your software with RT systems and make sure that you have all of your parameters and settings and so forth. I may have to go back and redo some things, but the firmware is now current. I may end up rebuilding a lot of my settings, but that's okay. But with this RT system software, when I bring over the menus and the memory channels, all those settings should, for the most part, restore. So this is going to take a minute. It's still upgrading right now. Now it's updating sending the menus. This was all of my memory channels and stuff. So it's going through. This takes a little while to do. So probably the best thing to do is go through all of your FM list settings, especially your ones that are no longer active or that you have made changes to. Write all that down. Okay, all right. Turn off the FT991A and turn back on to complete the update. So now what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to swip over the radio, turn it off, okay, and turn back on. Okay. Alright, now my memory channels are back. So all of my memory channels are there. And these settings are still there. So all of this still looks good. Recall store frequencies are there. Let's see here. Let's look at some of the menu settings here. Particularly, guys, this is great. All of these settings are still. Let's go down to parametric equalizer. Hey, look. Yeah. So, guys, everything looks like it's still there. Yeah, this looks good. Parametric. Let's go down to parametric equalizer. Let's go. Come on. Faster, faster. Yeah. So guys, it held the menu settings and everything. So I've got some videos on how I actually did this. Parametric equalizer. Yeah, some of those, the settings. You know what, it doesn't look like there are some parametric equalizer settings, but it doesn't look like it's my settings. So these may actually have changed. So the best thing to do, anything custom you have here, maybe make a spreadsheet on it, and after the upgrade, go back and check each individual one of these, because some of these parametric equalizer settings do not look like they took effect. Now, it's possible that backup I did in 2024 didn't have any parametric equalizer settings, but I'm pretty sure it did. So the firmware will reset the radio. There won't be anything left, but if you can back everything up, write everything down, write all your settings down, particularly on these modes here when you're changing modes. Let's see here, like if you're going like to CW, yeah, you're going to probably have to rearrange some of this. So, and of course, back when I was doing CW back in 2024, I may have had these set up differently than what I had before. So anyway, that's the firmware upgrade process. Best thing to do, now look here, see, I'm still in Spectrum mode, so I need to change that. So these settings here, it looks like some of them carried over, but some of them didn't. So I think the best thing to do on the firmware update is go through every single one of these, make a spreadsheet, and what your specific settings are. Remember, all the blues are default. So if you see one that's not blue, for example, let's see here, some of these are not blue. Yeah, okay, these here have been changed from the default. So all that still looks good. Okay, so the best thing is write all this down. Write down how you have these configured. Remember, these follow the mode, so if I change the mode, like that CW, if I go to upper sideband, these buttons are going to follow the mode. So see here. There's CW, that's the buttons. That's the USB. USB again, buttons follow the mode. Now we go back to FM. See, the buttons changed again for FM. So these 4 buttons, I've got videos on how to configure those. So anyway, the upgrade, that's how you do the firmware upgrade. Lessons learned, write everything down, back everything up, and especially with the RT system software. Alright, thanks and hope you enjoy the video.